Hi, my name is Yildiz Besik. I'm the author of Blue Mountain Mist. I have a very special nickname, and it is translated to mother in Anatolian dialects. In this video, we welcome you to the 300 or so videos just on this channel alone regarding the story of Prophet Hanna. Prophet Hanna is not a regular person by all means. First of all, she was conceived in Ararat, and this is all the authentic story. It will close with her death. So she was conceived in Ararat, born in Istanbul, and the year that she was conceived is the year Israel was annexed as a country in 1967. Now, there's thousands of people that were born in 1967. No big deal. It is a big deal if you know the whole story, how irregular it is when she created the modern Genesis, when she created her theology journal, the religious component. There's a small line in there that aligns itself with Hebrew, its location, and re-expanding the holiest location in the world, known as a bigger state of Israel. That is what she did for the local people of Anatolia. That's the first thing she did. But with a blessed, evil also came to this earth. So as we introduce you to all the videos, you will try to understand how large this production really is and how interlinked it is, because it's based off a true story. If it wasn't a true story, it would be beautifully divided into 10 different components. So the first one is there is a prophet. The second one is there are many wars. These wars are very different than World War I and World War II. Now, if there's one language that would kill billions of people, it would be known as the devil's tongue. And the church knows that, as they sit right next door to me, listening in on everything I'm doing. Now, why is the devil's tongue so important to the church? Because it is known as the language of barbares. So if you ever heard of barbaric like a Turk, it's because of the devil's tongue. Now, the devil's tongue, when we say it killed 1 billion people, well, first of all, they had to get rid of the motherland. Where is the motherland? Now, most people would, my motherland would be Russia or China, but humanity's motherland would be Africa or Ethiopia, cradle of civilization. When we think of Africa, the first place they had to eradicate the devil's tongue was Africa. Remember, there was a animal kingdom dialogue that was stable. We believe if it's not the first language, it's definitely a dominant language of the globe, known as the devil's tongue. So, the church did, over the course of several hundreds of years, eradicating the devil's tongue. Then we had cluster 3 that tried to eradicate the devil's tongue. Over the course of centuries, billions and billions of people died, especially if we look at slavery, because they utilized the devil's tongue. Everything was the devil's tongue. We had to get rid of it. That was the crazy Europeans that jump in ice water, who pushed getting rid of the devil's tongue. Hitler, whacked off thousands of Russians. We had to get rid of the devil's tongue. Now, was that a good thing? We don't know. But we forgot about the devil's tongue for centuries, and that is what this channel introduces you to. However, Prophet Hanna's brother in 1998, estranged brother, these are siblings all raised apart, in 1998, through the university networks, thought he was doing something fantastic when he released the devil's tongue. Well, long and behold, the Greeks in Texas had their testicles all in fire. We had the church leave the Vatican, empty it out. Snipers were brought into poor little town in Markham, Ontario. The Christian Crusades ran down the street and built a church the size of Vatican right down the street. And Prophet Hanna was stunned, trying to figure out what these people really wanted with the devil's tongue. Well, there's another story for you. But it doesn't stop there. Cluster 3 was one of those things that utilized that release with the elimination of a lot of people. And it wasn't done on purpose. It was because our populations were 9.5 billion in 1998, and Hanna today is mortified at the census tally. So how does 8 billion people go missing quietly? It would be due to something even more larger than Prophet Hanna, which is the arrival of the devil, which is the humanity's faith, in Hannah's honest opinion. So this channel, you get to witness the devil's tongue, cluster 3, Prophet Hanna. What else? Of course, there's New World Order, but is it new? Media does everything backwards. It's Old World Order with the Federal Reserve, and the minute the banks were created, this was already in play. The banks meant this for humanity, the capacity to use currency instead of gold or other commodities in the production of this. Now, Prophet Hanna tried to take this and make it into the Star of David. Now, why is this very, very important? Because this is very, very male. She is very female. As you notice, the legs are open. This is very male. Testicles hanging this way. She wants the Star of David, the utilization of females. Now, what else is there in this whole story? Besides New World Order and the Federal Reserve and all of that, there's also the component of her being sealed as a Turkologist with 100 men. Now, why was she different? Because she had only male children. Everything around her was male. She only knew male. Very, very male dominant. She was also raised by the black community. So there's a divine story. There's this. Now, this is all in the authentic version. There's the component that her being so perfectly well fitted in every single community in the globe made her a perfect transition to replace male Christ with her evolved journal. Now, that's another thing. So when we said the Sun collection was the size of probably Jupiter, she's not kidding. This is not a one-day story. This is a 20-year story, 900 video collection of Hanna alone. Then there's the armed forces story. Then there's the black community story. Then there's all kinds of interagency media and how media presented her story. Because remember, they think she's just a Jew that got omened by bringing out all these things. But why is she bringing out all this information? There's several reasons, but we're not going to talk about that. In this channel, we're going to just introduce you what the hell is going on. Then there was Cluster 3 in Canada. That was the only cluster that in Hannah's mind was an artificial one by the richest and the church trying to eliminate, long and behold, the devil's tongue. Cluster 3 was so bad that it whacked off so many civilians. Now, how did that happen? Well, the Yankees came in from the south and the Russians came in from the north, and then there was the Chinese on the right and the Indians on the left, and they all wanted to bits and pieces of Canada. But long and behold, like a fort holding a large piece of land, Hanna refused to budge on it. Now, why didn't the armed forces whack off Hanna? Because they could have easily done it. It's a single female. It became a problem. She was China's baby secretly. She was also Russia's baby. Now, the African Americans, the ones who knew the story, the real ones, she was also their baby. It became a narrowing number. The poorer Indians absolutely adored Hanna. Think about it. She's writing the real Evolve. She knew the Indians historically got slaughtered. Hanna is the mother of Indians. Is she lying? No, she has Indian kids. But her biological kids now are a form of shamanic people, a different type of Indian, not East, but she also has East Indian. as a blended family. So it's a long story of a female that has a colorful rainbow womb of colors that came to Earth, got thrown in, got horrifically injured, cursed out several men, whacked around several men, like the Tasmanian devil going through a field and ripping up everything. She went bonkers, got injured, and it's the story of, no lie, messy of about 20 years. And this is what happens when a true story comes about. What else is interesting in this channel? It's her sun collection. She was the first to be known as the trademark lady who made the discovery of Kanata means wings. But by the time she made Kanata means wings, she was already 1,000 years old, because prior to that, she did Animal to Hominid, and prior to that, she did the Tuck Journal. It's the development of how these journals came into play by the skies. So the skies was pushing light, and the devil was pushing the Orthodox Jews. Why was the devil pushing the Orthodox Jews? Because the devil wanted the dummification project. Now, this is humanity's faith, part of what we're introducing you in this channel. Humanity's faith was as follows: with a blessed, the devil would also come. What else was the devil pushing? The devil was pushing a standard bronzer on TV. Well, Hanna absolutely hated it, because Hannah's first husband was a Zulu man, dark as black as onyx, that she absolutely adored. The rugged colors of from pale white to dark to woodland colors. Well, Lucifer, that's the name of the devil that she named. Lucifer preferred bronzers, because Lucifer was part of that whole media thing of Kim Kardashian, Beyonce, Rihanna. They all look alike. They probably all do stunt doubles for each other, because they are all bronzers. That is what Hanna calls them, and Hanna absolutely hates it. But God forbid if only someone who doesn't recognize a chosen is amongst the people of media. That's another story. All of these are different components that make up C3's history. Thank you and have a good day.